So the first thing that you're going to need is a 43 by 28 centimeter tin. This I actually got on Amazon and it was really affordable. I'm going to line it with baking paper, and you just want to nail the corners with your nail and then basically cut into those markings you made, like I'm doing right now. I'm making these little kind of like squares, and this is just going to help the paper fit right into the tin, although I'm not really great at doing this, to be honest. I could have done it a bit better, but as you can see, it fits right in. I'm just trimming the edges as well, so there's not too much paper hanging out. And I'm just gonna butter the tray. I know this is such an amazing new buttering technique I found, just straight from the slab. And when you put your paper on, it's just gonna stick right on without creating any creases or anything like that. Just nice and smooth. So you're going to put that to the side, and now we're going to use 6 egg yolks and 120 grams of caster sugar, and we're just going to whisk this through until we get a nice pale thick consistency like this. So satisfying. I'm using 50 grams of cocoa powder, which I'm going to sieve through. I use a spatula just to help it sieve, because otherwise it just stays in lumps. A pinch of salt, and you just want to use your spatula to just mix this all through. I like to use more like a folding technique. This is going to turn into a nice thick paste, and I'm also going to add in a big dollop of vanilla extract. This is from Tesco. It's really nice because it's kind of sweet as well. And just mix this through, and you can put this to the side. Now we need our 6 egg whites, and we're just going to lightly whisk this, and once you start seeing some bubbles forming, I'm just going to turn the speed right up and just whisk this through until it starts getting kind of thick. So once it's looking nice and fluffy, you can add in your caster sugar. I'm slowly adding 30 grams of caster sugar, which will help stabilize the egg whites and add a bit of sweetness as well. And you just want to whisk this through until you get nice, soft, stiff peaks. And you should be able to turn the bowl upside down and nothing falls, basically. Just like so. Just looks like a nice fluffy marshmallowy cloud. So now I'm going to take a large metal spoon that has a nice sharp edge, I would say, and we're going to slowly take bits of the egg whites and fold this through our chocolatey paste. I did this in sections, and you really want to use this kind of folding technique so that you don't get rid of any of the air that you've created. I could have used a better spoon, but this was literally all that I had. You don't need every single utensil that are in the videos, but just use whatever you have that's similar. You should end up with a nice fluffy kind of mixture like this. And we're going to pour this right into our baking tin. How satisfying is that, honestly? And just spread this through. Again, another satisfying point in this video. The cake is really thin, so it's not going to go into the oven too long. Just make sure it's evenly laid into the tin, and this is going to go in the oven for 10 minutes at 170 degrees Celsius. And I use a fan oven, by the way. Like so. Pop it in. So once it's ready, it should look like something like this, and once you poke your finger, it kind of like bounces back up, and that's when you know it's ready. So you want to make sure that you carefully peel the cake from the edges of the baking paper. You're going to use a towel cloth, a kitchen towel. I don't know what the hell this is called, and ignore mine, it's ugly, but it's the only smooth one I have. I sprinkled a bit of icing sugar on it, and you just want to flip your cake onto it, and the cake is still kind of warm. I let it cool down for like not even 5 minutes, and slowly take off the baking paper. This is speeded through, by the way. I was really careful with this. So now you want to fold the edge of your kitchen towel and put a bit on the edge of the cake, and then just slowly go with the flow and fold the cake. You really don't need to apply any pressure at all. Just roll it. That's the best explanation I can give, and you'll see it will just do it on its own. And this is going to help the cake keep its shape without ripping or tearing. Once you're going to unfold it and then put the cream in, it's like memory foam. That's how I can explain it. I was so proud at this moment I was able to do this. I was like treating it like a baby, stroking it, tapping it. Okay, now we need to make our ganache. I'm using 200 grams of dark chocolate chips, some butter. All the ingredients will be in the info box, and we're going to put this in the microwave. I put it for like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it should look like this. Just a nice liquidy consistency. Make sure it's nicely mixed up. And we're gonna also add in some double cream. I think I did 100, just above 100 grams of double cream. And just mix this through. And this is just gonna create such a nice, lovely ganache that doesn't taste too bitter. This is why I love this, because the cream kind of balances it out, and it just looks so yummy. I could eat that whole bowl, honestly. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side and let it cool down. We're going to do our filling now, and I used 150 grams of double cream again. And just like in the recipe video, I'm going to hand whisk this, although my arm was hurting a lot at the end of it. So you can use an electric whisk, and I put in around 1.5 tablespoons of icing sugar just to give it some sweetness and structure, and it should look like this, basically just a nice thick whipped cream. So we're going to unroll our cake because it's nice and cool now. So this is where I kind of messed up a bit. The cake is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it. It didn't rip, it folded beautifully, but when I started playing around and trying to flip it like this, I basically tore it up. Look at that. I was so frustrated, but it was okay, it was salvageable, it didn't rip too much. So I put on the whipped cream all over the cake, and I'm just spreading it through. Again, another satisfying moment. I just love baking videos, guys. Just make sure you get it all evenly coated, and just a little bit into that fold right here, not too much in that bit. And you're gonna use your kitchen towel to help you fold it right back up, but make sure you don't fold the towel into the cake, because I feel like I would do that. But yeah, just use it as a guide or just to help you support the cake. And again, you really don't need to put any pressure at all, just lightly fold it and it just should do it on its own, because it's already got the fold in the cake. And look at that, that's my little Yule log. My first ever Yule log. Came out so beautiful. So I'm going to transfer this onto a cutting board or a plate or whatever you have at home. And now we're going to put on the ganache, although here it's kind of thick. You can use it like this if you want. You could use it just like that, but we're going to whip this, which creates a nice fluffy ganache, and it goes lighter as well, but it's so yummy. It makes it even thicker as well. So we're going to put this all over the cake, and I have this little baby spatula that I love using. I got from Amazon. I'll link it in the info box, but I'm just going to spread this out evenly. And also I created some lines just to kind of imitate that log wood effect. I tried to do those circly things, but it wasn't that great, but you know what, it just looks rustic and authentic, you know. and I dusted on some icing sugar, which really gave the effect of like this Christmassy Yule log. I just love it so much, guys. And then I took some leaves from my mum's plant. I know, so random, but I didn't have like proper decorations. And I also found this dried up rose from this plant that was in the kitchen, that looked like this, but it's kind of cute, so I put it there, and it added the cutest touch to the cake. And there we go, guys, that's my little Yule log. I'm so proud of it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie,
I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye.